So in this video, I'll basically be explaining to you what order blocks mean. That is the works of order blocks, how to spot valid order blocks, and also how to use order blocks for entry in your analysis. Now, first thing first, we have to know what order blocks are. First, so what are order blocks? Order blocks are simply that area in a chart in a price movement whereby sellers and buyers become very active. That is where the trend of a currency pair, or let's just say the trend of a pair, tends to change. Now take for instance in a bearish market, in a bearish trend, that is price has been falling until it gets to another block. So we expect that once price gets to that other block, we expect a retrace and we want price to start buying. That is, we want buyers to get active in that area and start pushing price up. So that's what other blocks are basically. You can just simply say other blocks are like areas where demand and supply gets very active. That is demand for buyers and supply for sale. So now, how do you spot order blocks? The best way to spot order block in your chart is to work with the 4 hours and the 1 hour time frame. The 4 hours and the 1 hour time frame. They are the best for spotting valid order blocks. They are the best for spotting valid order blocks. Now, I used my phone because a lot of us may be using our phone now to also to make the video very easy and understandable, and also make navigation understandable. So I'll be using my phone now to explain how to spot order blocks and also how to work with order blocks. So now, first, we might want to switch our that is our trading view chart to landscape mode, that is so that we can have a very clearer view and also a wider view. So all you just have to do is simple. You just go to your dashboard settings and you can just turn off auto rotate or simply turn on auto rotate. Then you just flip your phone upside down and here we are on the landscape mode. So now, how do you spot your order blocks? Now you have to check the price movement, that is where basically there has been um active selling and also active buying, that is where demand gets very active and also where supply gets active. We all know that demand is the area where the last sell point, that is the last sell candle before price starts shooting up, and also for supply the last buy candle before price starts shooting down, that is our demand and supply area. So now, how do we spot our order blocks? Now this is a 4 hours time frame and the GBP USD charts. So how do you spot our order blocks? Now let's work with that. First thing first, you have to be familiar with the tools. Now each trader has a different way of marking out their order blocks. Some might just want to maybe use a line, just use the trend line to just mark it that okay, this is where my order block is. Or some may decide that they are not using the trend line and they may want to mark it with a rectangle. So anyone you use, so long you have the right order block, you still are on the right page. So how do we spot our order blocks now? Now let's scroll through our charts. Let's scroll through the charts and let's find areas whereby demand and supply has been basically very active. Now if you look at the charts, we can see a very large sell candle at this area, a very large sell candle at this area, a very large sell candle at this area. That is, after this, we see a lot of green candles that has spiked up, a lot of green candles that has flown up. So this area where we have that is this area where we have this large sell candle before the buy candles, this becomes our order block for a bullish trend. So now we call this a bullish order block simply because we want the order block to send the market and to send price higher, to send price up. So that is why it is called a bullish order block. So now how do we mark out our order blocks? So all you just have to do is pick the way you want to mark it. Maybe you want to use the trend line. You want to use the trend line. Now, how do you mark your order block? You mark your order block within the candle, that is the body of the candle. Other blocks are not marked from the wick of the candle. You mark other blocks from the body of the candle. So how do we do that? We just basically mark this and draw it to as much length as we anticipate. So that is, we are not so sure of how price is going to move, but we expect that if price is moving, it should at least at this range. So now we see that here, you see here that price has tapped into our order block, and all we just want is confirmation to get into the trade. So now there are different things that tells you that this is a very good and accurate trade. So let's use the rectangle first to mark out our order block. Let's use the rectangle to mark out our order block. Give me a minute, let me delete. So you can just delete this line, then so we mark out our order block with this, and we can just change that's the appearance of a candle, so that the appearance of the rectangle, so we can easily see our okay. So we have marked our order block at this area, and we expect that price gets here and price will test this, and also we want to see price shooting up from this range. So that is basically order blocks for you. And now, how do you know that an order block is going to be very, very valid? Now, when you're spotting other blocks, you have to be sure that it is the last area of how do I put this? Is the last area of liquidity sweep. So I'll be talking more about liquidity sweep, but this video is just basically for the blocks, basically for that block. So in the next video, we'll be talking about break of structure, which is the BOS. So we'll be adding a break of structure to this same chart, and I will explain to you the work of a break of structure, what it does, and how to spot accurate break of structure. So that is all for other blocks. Now if you have any questions, you can just basically ask them in the group, and we provide the necessary answers to that. So see you in the next video. In the meantime,